October 21st, turning 21 today, answering 21 questions. Let's Chicle chat about it.
Chicle?
Welcome to the 4th Q&A / 21st Golden Birthday Special / 100th episode of Chicle Chat. I'm Alex Gum, aka Chicle. Dear God, that was a lot. So before we get started with this special Q&A, I want to thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. It was a really good birthday. I'm gonna spend the rest of my birthday with my family and friends and see what happens throughout the weekend. Also, if you didn't get a chance to ask me a question, or if there's a question that you asked me but didn't make it to the 21 cut, don't worry. I'll save those questions later on for another Q&A. So if you guys want to ask me anything you want, then please be sure to leave down a hashtag AskChicle down in the comments below, and I'll answer your questions in the upcoming Q&A, which could potentially be whenever. First question. This is from Cooper Vanworth. Why haven't we ever done a hip-hop duo? Well, Cooper, just because we're no longer on team doesn't mean that we don't have to do a hip-hop duo. It's never too late. Macy Tool asks, who's the best Miss Carson City? I don't know. There's this one girl. She's like brunette. She's kind of your height. I went to school with her. She plays the violin. I don't remember her name, but I know that she's currently Miss Carson City. You might know her. Jessica Rose wants to know, what's the first drink you're gonna order? Ah, you're funny. Archie of Brockway wants to know, what makes dance so important to you? The fact that I can just be myself. I have my own uniqueness. It may not be the best, but at least it just shows who I am. Both Napoleon Rose and Ethan Bruff both want to know, what's your favorite Pokemon? I'm going to have to say Lucario. Alan Medina wants to know, why Chicle? Chicle means gum in Spanish, and my last name is Gum, and it was actually a nickname that I did not give myself. It was actually somebody else from middle school. I forgot her name, but she was really weird, but I just stuck with it anyway. So then, long story short, everybody started calling me it, so what up? Amanda Scholl wants to know, what is your favorite dance memory? If I had to choose my personal favorite, I would have to say last year's Prestige Dance Convention when I was doing like an improv class, or I think it was contemporary but we did freestyle, whichever one. I remember that JoJo Gomez was also taking that class, and I remembered I was just freestyling, and I just felt like a small person like wrapping her whole body around my leg, and I looked down, it looked like JoJo, and I realized I was dancing with JoJo Gomez, which was pretty dope. Keely Hoyt wants to know, what's your favorite book and author? I would have to say my favorite author would have to be Ronald Dahl, because he has really cool like illustrations and, you know, pictures and stuff, and great stories. And I would have to pick a book from that author, and that would either be BFG or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Darian Peck wants to know, have you ever been attacked by Dare Bear? Hashtag Dare Bear Smash. Well, Dare Bear, you're gonna have to be very specific. You have attacked me in many ways. Physically, verbally, mentally, well, every way. Jace Jalot wants to know, what was your favorite show to do with the West Nevada Musical Theater Company? Since Beauty and the Beast hasn't had its show yet, we're still doing rehearsals by the time you're watching this video. I would have to say the recent one that I did back in the spring, nice work if you can get it. The cast was great. I love the music. It was a musical that I never heard of, and then when I realized that like we had all this dancing and acting and stuff, it was pretty cool. Brooke Ottaway has 2 questions. One of the questions is, out of all of the years competing, what dance was your least favorite? Ooh, that was an interesting one. What was it called? 515? I just remember wearing a bowler hat and just doing stuff on a chair and partnering, but it was in the novice division. Like, everybody's gonna remember that dance. And then her other question is, if you could turn back time, what mistake that you made would you fix? Never bet with other women. It doesn't matter if they make the bet or what the bet's about. You don't want to do it. Gina Nelson wants to know, now at 21, what advice would you give your 11-year-old self? Wow, that's like, when was I 11? Like 10 years ago? Wow, that was a long time. I would just have to say that if people just don't listen to you, or if they just reject you, don't take it personally. People need their space. And I'll also tell my 11-year-old self, just be yourself. Madeline Dixon wants to know, who inspired you to do Chicle News? Now, Madeline, of course it's not a who, it was more of a what. I remembered watching Family Guy one episode, and there was like this part of the episode where like they do the Quahog news, and like they do like, you know, the weather and stuff. I remember that like this one meteorologist would just flat out say, it gon' rain. And I thought it was so funny because it was so short, and I noticed how boring that the forecast was. And also another thing that inspired me to do it was because there's a lot of like local performing arts that not being advertised on like newspapers or actual news stations much, that it's always being focused on social media, that I decided to create it this way so that people can get an opportunity to either go to shows or audition. Chandler Blueberg wants to know, what's your favorite show you've done and why? I would have to say to this day, probably Decadence, because that was actually the first actual paid show that I did after high school, and I felt like I learned a lot from it. Riley Philippi wants to know, what else would you want to be besides a dancer, and what profession interests you? I have been thinking about auditioning for reality TV shows and cruise lines. I would have to say just being an entertainer in general, or just be a videographer or a vlogger. Aiden Jenner Carroll asked, what style of dance do you love to teach and choreograph? And what style of dance do you love to perform? That is a pretty well detailed question. To this day, I still enjoy teaching hip hop, and I love to perform contemporary musical theater and hip hop. Mostly hip hop. Because, you know, your boy, come on. Ava Harold wants to know, why did you start dance? I guess the way to answer your question, Ava, I guess it's just the family. It's just my sisters already started dancing before I did. Adam Ma wants to know, what is your 2-year plan for YouTube? I'm planning on doing it more daily with YouTube. And I'm also planning on trying to advertise myself networking with YouTube with my dance videos as soon as I kind of understand the concept of properly copywriting. And then I want to see myself like come up with more ideas and starting growing bigger things, collaborating with bigger YouTubers, and just continue with this diversity that I'm doing with my channel, because I feel like it's just my own originality and I just wanted to continue with it. Ronnie Ellison wants to know, where do you make your hats? Are they expensive? I got these certain hats at Meadowood Mall, and they have like those like outlets, you know? There's this one where you can like get a hat and just customize whatever you want on there. It is kind of like, I don't know, 25 bucks. So it's actually not that expensive. It just depends on how many hats you customize. Michaela Radecki says, out of all of the last 21 years, what year do you believe to be the most memorable to you and why? Wow. I would have to say maybe my senior year, because I never had a lot of, you know, support and a lot of, you know, encouragement from a lot of people at that school that I attended at and everybody around me. And noticing that like I'm setting myself my own legacy in the future, which I'm doing right now. And finally, the last question for our 21 birthday Q&A special is Olivia Swearingen. What is your favorite type of food? I'm gonna have to go with burgers because Chicle loves burgers. And that is the Q&A. Like I said before, thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. And if you guys haven't asked me anything and you really wanted to ask me anything, let me know in the comments below what questions you want to ask me. Include a hashtag AskChicle with a question, and I'll answer them next time. Well, I'm going to celebrate the rest of my birthday. I'm Alex Gum, aka Chicle, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!
If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you can like us on our Facebook page. And be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram for more dance videos, more Chicle Chat vlogs, more Chicle news and entertainment, and more content.